Hello there. Moment, please. I'm Scotty. You're not. Hold on. I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to Dis-Cember. I gotta keep placing myself so I'm not in the way. We're looking at Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. The original end to the Pirates movies. But money talks. So we got two more. Hopefully we get one more that finishes off the story completely, but I doubt it. And in this film, after the events of Dead Man's Chest, they now have to go to Davy Jones' locker to rescue Jack to finish off their fight against Beckett and Davy Jones and all that. So based on the end of the last film, you think, okay, the first thing they're going to do is go after Jack, right? No, they decided that they had to invent a reason for them to go after Jack. They already planned on it at the end of the last film, but now there is a reason to go after Jack because there is a group of pirate lords. What are they called? I don't know. Group of pirate lords that come together every once in a while, and Jack is one of them. And the pirate lords, they are responsible for putting the goddess Eclipso inside a human body. And so they need Jack's. They each have a piece of 8, which is actually just a personal item. It's Jack's little coin thing on his hair or whatever it is. And they have to go there to get him to get it back. And with all the backstabbing in the movie, you think my boss was just, but to get him back to the other side, I guess. But yeah, that's just. Okay, I've already said some of my piece with this movie, but it's too damn long. This is the longest movie at, what was it? What did I say it was? 269 minutes? I think that's what it was. No, 169 minutes. 169 minutes long, this movie. It's the longest of all of the movies. The longest. And as I mentioned before, it does have the most filler, the most stuff you could probably take out and have it be shorter. It also, when you put into consideration that they did this and Dead Man's Chest back to back. So consider that's actually a 2-part story. That's 5 hours. Combined. And if you're watching all of these in a row, who knows? Plus there's more. And I'm glad I'm separating these with animated films in between. I'm going to give a little separation. I am enjoying watching this. This one was by far the biggest slog. There's just so much unnecessary stuff. Now, the first scene of this film is dark. It starts with the hanging of pirates, including one that is a little kid. Why a child can't be a pirate? Well, Beckett says he's hanging those who are pirates or associated or connected, have any connection to pirates. So this little kid gets hung. And on one hand, this is an incredibly dark way for the movie to start, and I do like it. However, is it necessary? No. We then go straight into an extended sequence of going to Singapore and trying to convince Sao Fang, one of the pirate lords, played by Chow Yun-fat, to call the meeting of the pirate lords so they can get Jack Sparrow back. And they need his help because they need a ship and a crew to sail to Davy Jones' locker to get Jack. Question: you didn't have a ship? How'd you get there? Second question: you already have a crew. You have the crew you've had for the last 2 freaking movies. And you need these people. Why? It makes no sense. You introduce this character, Sao Fang, that doesn't really do anything but betray them. Shock of all shocks. That's another thing. Too many freaking betraying. Will turns on them, and then they turn on Will, and then Jack jumps with Beckett, and then Dan jumps back, and then there's too many betrayals in this movie. It just spreads out the runtime. Then there, after this extended sequence of like 20 minutes, getting to the part, that they're having the meeting, and then in comes the East India Trading Company come in, the Port Royal, that you know what I mean, Beckett's people, and they come in there, and then they eventually escape, and they agree on the ship, and South Fang stays behind because he's made a secret deal with Will. They make a deal so Will can get the Black Pearl and make a deal with Beckett to get his father back from Davy Jones. Why do they need the pearl? I don't know. But eventually they get to Davy Jones' locker, takes off, and they get there. They sail off the edge of the world, question mark. So in this universe, the world is flat. I don't know, it's very confusing. And they end up in Davy Jones' locker. And then we have an extended 10-minute sequence of Jack Sparrow talking to himself, basically. I don't know if it's exactly 10 minutes, but it feels like it. It feels like it. It's Jack, and there's a bunch of Jacks on the Pearl. He goes crazy. He's talking to them. There's a thing with a peanut. He gets down from the Pearl, and he's standing in this white void. And he's looking, and he finds a rock. He licks the rock. He throws the rock. He walks over and stops, turns. The rock is there again. He looks at it, throws it again. It turns out these are crabs, and the crabs attach to the Pearl and move it across the sand. And eventually they meet up. Supposedly these crabs were controlled by Calypso, or Theodama as she's known here, which she does turn into crabs later, but she doesn't have powers here. So I think it's just a coincidence. And now they are together. By the way, the multiple Jack thing doesn't go away. He still sees other Jacks during the film, including a devil angel Jack thing in his hair, and one that looks like it's been serving Davy Jones. Okay. And it's here we find out, sometime we find out, it's hinted at in the last one, this one, that if you stab the heart of Davy Jones, you then must take the place of Davy Jones as the captain of the Dutchman, because the Dutchman needs a captain. And I'll explain how they went the wrong way with that later. It kind of makes sense, but not really. So now they're all together. They're going to call this a Brethren Court. I remember what it was called. And that's another 10-minute extended talking sequence. There's another extended 10-minute talking sequence while trying to figure out what they're going to do. Because Barbossa wants to free Calypso. They say no. And there's arguing, and they decide, oh, by the way, there's more to this, because Elizabeth eventually, because South Fang turns on them and takes Elizabeth because he thinks she's Calypso for some reason. And then South Fang gets killed by Lord Beckett and his people, who kidnap Elizabeth and give her to Davy Jones for some reason. And then Norrington is there. And by the way, her father is dead. They didn't have anything with Jonathan Pryce in this film, so they killed him off. Wouldn't it make more sense to do, I'll explain how my ending would have worked, and it would have worked better than what they did. And it would have been a definitive, happy ending for the franchise. They have this chart that tells them, Jack realizes to get back, this is going back a little bit, but they do this thing I kind of liked, where they have to tip the ship upside down to go back to the land of the living, which is cool. But yeah, Jonathan Pryce is wasted. Why even bring him back if they're just going to kill him off? Off screen, by the way, he's killed off. And it's implied he died stabbing the heart. Wouldn't that mean he delivers the exposition about the heart, but it would then imply he would take over the Dutch? It doesn't make any sense. doesn't make any sense. Or that he tried to do it and Davy Jones was killed. I don't know. It makes no sense as to why. I don't know. I don't know. But yes. So they do the Brethren Court, another 10-minute sequence where they decide to do a vote before they go to war uh, to appoint a pirate king. But it says it never works because everyone else votes for himself. They hold the vote. Everyone votes for herself except for Jack, who votes for Elizabeth. Wrong. Jack should be the king, not Elizabeth, because it's Elizabeth. I'm not saying, oh, she's a woman, she can't do it. No. Elizabeth has proved herself useless in these movies. They try to make her a strong female character, and it doesn't work. The first film was told, this whole franchise, this whole trilogy is supposed to be told through her eyes. However, that gets lost in the sequels. And my idea is that each film should have been shown as a different film story. Different character story, excuse me. The first one, Elizabeth's story. The second one, Jack's story. Makes sense with the Davy Jones and his past with Beckett. The third film, Will's story. It all makes sense, but no, supposedly it's all seen through Elizabeth's eyes, which gets derailed in the sequels. It just doesn't make much sense. And now they're trying to make her a strong female character when all she's really done is get captured and stuff. And yes, she left Jack for dead, but she was captured previously, and she gets captured again in this movie. So now she is a pirate lord because of Sao Fang made her a pirate lord before he died. And now she's the king. And I'm not saying that Keira Knightley couldn't kick ass. She could. She's just not written in that way that she could kick some ass. And it's not. And now in the last freaking movie that she's in, really, she's sort of in the fifth one, but we'll get to that. And that one, it's just, too late, too little, too late to do it. Jack should have been the Pirate King for reasons that, one, he's the star of this franchise now, and two, it makes too much sense. It should have been the other way around. Everyone votes for themselves, including Jack, and she votes for Jack. But it's the other way around, and we have to deal with that, which it still doesn't make much sense to me. I don't know. Also, Raggedi's eye was one of the pieces of 8. Okay? There's also too much humor from Mr. Cotton's parrot and the monkey Jack. And then we have Pintel and Raggedi doing goofy stuff. And then the two idiots from the first film that work for Port Royal also show up on Beckett's ship. And they're doing stupid stuff and then end up turning in pirates. Somehow, they were on the Dutchman, but then they're on the Pearl later. I don't know. And then they're with the Pearl crew. I don't understand it. And despite the fact that Calypso, or Tia Dalma, says she's going to unleash her power on the pirate lords, when she does get freed, she just creates a whirlpool thing because Will tells her Davy Jones is responsible for it. So she turns on Dave. She goes after Davy Jones. There is one cool scene between them that shows that they were that really shows that they were lovers, and the scene is good. Naomi Harris and Bill Nighy were good, and we get to see Bill Nighy in a normal human form, which is pretty cool. And yeah, but I do like Bill Nighy's Davy Jones anyway. He's fantastic. But yeah, and there's this swirling thing, and both boats get attached to each other at the mast, so they're spinning around in the whirl thing, while Jack eventually gets the heart and is going to shoot it, and Will stabs Davy Jones to where his heart's supposed to be, and then, yeah, that's kind of stupid. Earlier, though, I should point out before this, as mentioned in Dead Man's Chest, the captain of a ship can this is a bit of a problem for me. It's It's a nitpick for me because I don't see it the certain way. But the captain of a ship can perform a marriage. So Barbossa marries Will and I forgot her fucking name. Elizabeth. Will and Elizabeth. He marries them while they're fighting on the ship. Cool little scene. They're not married though. They're not legally married. And it's not just, oh, captain of a ship can't be legally binding. Barbossa is not the captain of the ship. Jack is. Jack is and has always been the captain of the Black Pearl. Despite that he keeps getting stolen from him, he's the captain of the Black Pearl. He's only left the Black Pearl once since they went. And even though he's not on that ship, he's still technically the captain. Therefore, the marriage is not official because Jack did not marry them. And I think it would have made more sense and meant more if Jack was the one who did it. But no, he's over captured, whatever. By the way, they say that Davy Jones cannot make port. He cannot step on dry land. But they need to have a face-off between the two villain characters with Will on their side for some reason, and the three others, Barbossa, Elizabeth, and Jack, on land. So they solve this by having Davy Jones stand in a bucket. Doesn't work that way. He cannot leave his ship except for once every 10 years. Is this his once every 10 years and he's wasting it by standing there? No. He cannot leave he cannot leave the ship. He cannot go to shore. Period. For a 10-year period. He should not be able to be on shore standing in a bucket of water or nothing. Standing in a bucket of water or not, he should not be able to be there. It's like Vanellope in Wreck-It Ralph. She can't leave because she's a glitch. There should be some kind of barrier that stops him from getting on to land. Bucket of water or not. It makes no sense that he's standing there. I facepalm when I saw that. I'm like, no. A bucket of water does not mean he can stand on dry land. Bullshit. No. So, Will and Elizabeth get married. This was earlier in the film, and now he's this. And then Will gets stabbed. This is now later. I'm sorry, I'm going out of order, but Will gets stabbed by Davy Jones with a sword. Right? And he's going to die. Jack makes a decision to put the blade in Will's hand, stab the heart. So now Will becomes the captain of the Dutchman. Wrong again. It should not be Will, and it should not be Jack, and it should not be Elizabeth. None of our three main characters we've been following should stab the heart. You know who it should be? Bootstrap Bill. We see earlier that Bootstrap breaks loose of his control from the ship. The opportune moment to do this is when he's about to stab Will. Bootstrap grabs the heart from Jack, stabs it. Kills him, becomes the new captain. Will was able to save his father, I guess. He now has to serve as the captain of the Dutchman, but he and Elizabeth can go on and have a happy life, and Jack can go on and be a pirate. Happy endings. But no, they have Jack use Will's hand to stab the heart, so now Will is now in servitude to the Dutchman and must serve out for the rest of his life. Forever. After having one last romp with Elizabeth to consummate the marriage, which is where the post-credit scene is up, Davy Jones falls in the whirlpool. And there's a cool scene where, Beckett made a deal. Norrington dies earlier, I should mention too, but who cares? Beckett makes the deal with Jack that once everything is done, he can go. And he's like, they expect us to honor our agreement. But he doesn't. But like both the Pearl and the Dutchman just shoot the hell out of it. There's a cool little effect. Captain goes down with the ship, right? And then we cut to Tortuga, where once again Jack has been overthrown by Barbossa because he's stolen the Black Pearl with everyone on the crew, including those two bumbling guys. I still don't understand how they got on the Pearl, if they were, and how they turned into pirates if they were on the Pearl. I don't know. Also, Will says his father is free, but his father said, no, I'm going to spend time with you. I want to be here. So, yeah, that happened. And then Jack and Gibbs are left in Tortuga while the others, and then Barbossa says, we're going to go after the Fountain of Youth, which Jack has the map to, which sets up the next one. And we get Drink Up Me Hot As Yo Ho, the end, and then there's a post-credit scene that shows Elizabeth and a little boy standing on the hill overlooking the ocean, and Will comes back. Now, there's conflicting things. I've heard some say that this is the end of this. Will has served. This is 10 years later. Will has served his purpose. He's done what he had to, and now he's finished. But others, correctly, say this is just him coming to land after a 10-year period for his one day. And why is it correct? Because the fifth film follows that one, not the other. It's confusing, but the fifth film follows the latter of what I just said. But yeah, I'm going to give this the middle of the road. It's probably the worst of the original three. Way too long. Too much filler. You could have taken some of this scenes out. We didn't need to see the hang at the beginning. Yes, it shows you that Beckett is showing no mercy, but it's still necessary. The whole trying to convince Sal thing could have been taken out or shortened. The meeting at the Pub of the Pirate Lords, shortened. Everything with Jack in and Davy Jones' locker, gotten rid of, and just showing him running over the hill, or them finding him, showing he lost his mind. You didn't need to have that extended scene. There's too much filler in this movie. But I don't think it's terrible. There's good parts in this, but it's too damn long. So what are your thoughts on Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Guys, we are getting close. We're getting close. With this, I have 4 more days left and 4 more reviews. I forgot to mention this, but I've taken Moana off my review list because I'm scheduling which ones I'm recording on which day. So I've been doing 3 a day. And so today I've done Wreck-It Ralph, this one, and one more. And then tomorrow I'll finish off with Pirates 4, another one, and Pirates 5, and just be done. Then I have to go back and record Christmas reviews. And by going back, I mean I'm recording for last week. Because we are on the 26th through the 30th, and the end of the year, of the month and of the year. I got to go back and record for the 19th through the 25th. Christmas reviews. I haven't done those yet. So you're going to see, you probably already have seen, you probably already noticed, that in the night, like the first half or so of the 19th through the 25th, in the mornings for the Disney reviews, I'll have a full goatee. And then with the Christmas reviews, I'll have this. Because I trimmed it in the middle of the recording sessions. So, yeah, not in the videos, but you know. Anyway, thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.